everyone, and welcome back to our next consignment update for our auction on the 3rd to the 6th of September 2024. Now today we are bringing the low end. We're doing a special bass guitar episode as we have had quite a few basses consigned recently, and quite a few people have been asking for a bass specific video as we feel we do not feature them enough. But now we are trying to do 2 episodes a week. Hopefully this won't alienate you guys too much, so if you're not interested in basses, there's plenty more coming up. So let's have a look at some good quality bass guitars we've got coming up on the 3rd to the 6th of September. First up, we have a Gibson Thunderbird. There we go, this is from 2015, and specs for this year and beyond. We had this coil switching here, and the Babbitt's bridge, well-known makers of good quality hardware, so two-tone sunburst finish, but an iconic bass, isn't it? The Gibson Thunderbird from 2015, decent condition with the case as well. And in here you'll probably tell what it is straight away from the case. And this is not a repeat from one of last week's videos, but it is the same year, 1964. So we have 2 1964 violin basses in one sale. Hofner 500/1. This one's missing its logo. Few other cosmetic issues, but otherwise I think in acceptable condition for the age. Now it's got its original Selmer case, sort of the green lining and the tweed exterior, and nice straight neck. Really nice to play actually. So yeah, good example from 1964. Now rather collectible. So first of our Fender offering. This is from 1981, and straight away you will see some mods with the pickups. Excuse the slack strings, we've literally just put this back together and yet to tune it back up. So this is from 1981. You'll notice the S9 serial number. Most would assume that's 1979, but these serial numbers could cross years. So 1981 pots, which is helping us date it. Now the pickups, you'll see this one isn't original. The body has been cut out to house this Jazz bass, so it's a PJ hybrid, and these are the passive EMG Select pickups that have been installed. So replacement pickups, body cut to house this one, some blemishes and marks, but otherwise generally it's just a good solid bass guitar from this era. They're usually fairly heavy from around this time, but then most basses are anyway. So yeah, 1981 Fender Precision bass, USA. So another Fender bass, this time not a US one. These were actually made in China, but very good quality. This is the Starcaster bass, sort of the classic Starcaster design. We actually have the guitar equivalent of this in the sale as well, so you can get the set. Can't remember the colour, but I think it might also be a black one, so you really can have the set. So Starcaster bass, like I said, these were made in China, very, very good quality. This one from 2013 in fantastic condition. Now, I apologise in advance for a repeat because we have featured this specific bass in a previous consignment update for this sale, but just because it's a bass special episode, I thought it's definitely worth a mention. Pino Palladino owned this bass. So it's a Lakland US Decade, quite a low serial number example as well. This is one that he owned and used. Now Pino Palladino, a very, very well regarded session player. The John Mayer Trio was one of the main projects he was involved with, along with some other huge names. But this is in good condition, obviously used by him, so there are some signs of use. Comes with its case and consigned by a seller who's a huge fan of Pino, and hopefully it will go to another big fan. There we go. And just to get our repeats out of the way, because this is another bass that you will have seen, this is an extremely rare Anthony Zemaitis fretless bass guitar, and yeah, it's just a fantastic thing really. Metal front, so at the highest of the highest of the range, really, the custom deluxes. This is from 1974, and this was in the last sale but didn't get away, so it's being reoffered with a slightly reduced reserve. But the artist connection with this one is it was used by Jaco Pastorius, the absolute legend that he is, known for playing fretless bass guitars, and this is obviously a fretless version as well. So lots of provenance with this one. Most of you will have seen it in the last auction. For those of you who are fresh to us, check it out on the next sale. Sort of significantly dropped reserve on this one. So it's very collectible in its own right, being an Anthony Zemaitis bass guitar, but also that it's been used by Jaco Pastorius, who, yeah, is one of the most influential bassists of all time. This is a first for us. We have sold many, many Blade guitars before, but never a bass. So there you can see Gary Leveson concepts. This was, I need to get this right, Chinese parts put together in Japan and then quality control in Switzerland. Is that? That was it. I think that's right. That's really good memory. Yes, so yeah, Chinese parts but Japanese made, so good quality. And this is the Terra standard, as you can see on the head there. There we go. And great, really are great value bases. I mean, this will come in at the, I guess, 250 to 350, I'm going to guess, hammer price mark, or maybe 300 to 400. Sort of difficult to predict sometimes, especially with the bass guitar market. But a good clean example, comes with a Ritter gig bag, and yeah, in, what is it now, 17 years nearly of being here, we have not we've not ever had a Leveson bass or a Blade bass, which is, yeah, quite remarkable really. Big fan of white guitars here, aren't we? And you can't get much whiter than that. So this is a very early Gordon Smith guitar or bass guitar, and you'll see there the serial number 1. It's not the first Gordon Smith guitar though, and I will explain why. So in the case here we have a picture of Chris Smith, the original and previous owner. So this was bought by the seller from Chris Smith, who did make this guitar. Now, Chris Smith worked for Gordon Smith Guitars. He was not related to the founder, John Smith. It's just simply a coincidence, but Chris Smith was one of the very early workers of the factory or builders for Gordon Smith Guitars back then, and he built this bass for himself while he was there, and he wanted one with serial number 1, obviously being the first one he personally made. So there he is, Chris Smith, no relation to John Smith, the founder, or the the family of Gordon Smith Guitars. But this is the bass guitar he made, and fantastic condition. We believe it's from around 1975. But cool thing, eh? So this is from a similar period, made in Japan, so good Japanese craftsmanship, and it is an Ibanez Jazz type bass. It will have a specific model designation which will be in our catalogue. It's a 4-digit number and I cannot remember it off the top of my head, but it is on the item description that will be published in the previews soon. But from 1976, as the serial number would suggest, and there we have it, a good quality 1970s Japanese made Ibanez Jazz style bass. So a vintage Fender bass coming up. 1973 Fender Precision bass, and the first thing you notice about this is it's nice and light. So yeah, early 70s, 1973, you can see it's been used, gigged, and it's taken on some modifications as a working man's instrument. So we've got the Badass 1 bridge here. You'll see some finish imperfections here, or this patch here. This is where the previous owner had put some felt down, or foam, to mute the strings underneath, and when he removed it, it did take some of the finish away, unfortunately. But yeah, we've got a replacement bridge anyway. We do have the original in the case, so that comes with it. So original bridge there, and this is the original orange lined case as well. And then we've got the Bartolini pickups there, so decent set of pickups. Some would argue, even though it's potentially a value hampering thing in terms of originality, it's probably an upgrade in terms of sound to some people anyway. But there we go, 1973 Fender Precision bass. 70s Fender once again. There we go. And here we have a 1977 Fender Jazz bass in natural with the rosewood board. I do prefer the look of the rosewood on natural rather than maple on natural, and I do like the big block inlays from this era on these jazz basses. There we go. So you can see it's in good condition, comes with its case, and I believe we even have the covers. There we go, we've got the bridge and pickup covers included in the bubble wrap, just tucked in there. These quite often get removed, of course, and considering it's sort of getting later on into the 70s, that's a good weight, yeah. But good. Really nice. Here's a nice bass. Good example with the case. So in here, in a later case, the red label case, these cases are actually quite desirable themselves now. But this is an earlier bass in the case. It's a 1973 again, like the one of the previous basses we've seen, but this one is more original. So although it's more original, it is actually slightly heavier as well. So there we go. You can see it's in used condition, as really I think you'd hope for guitars like this. No one wants to see these things tucked away and never used. Bit of damage to the pick guard there, but essentially a good original example from 1973. And yet another 70s Fender bass, this one from 76, and this has the Babix bridge mod. We do have the original in the case again, and we do have the bridge and pickup covers, but this one in sunburst with the rosewood board, again the block inlays on the jazz bass model there, bullet truss rod, 70s thing there, nice big logo, and again it's a used bass, nice to see, so a genuine relic, and again comes with its original case. And in here, I don't think a bass video could be complete without a Music Man, another iconic model. This is the StingRay 4-string with the candy apple red finish, active pickups of this one, and the black headstock. So these are just very, very good basses. Don't think you can go far wrong with one of these. Good basses, US made, solid construction, great design. This one comes with its original case. So in here, Music Man again. We do have a modification with the replaced neck. So obviously the original neck's been damaged at some point. This is the Big Owl Fusion 4. There we go. And the neck apparently replaced by fat bottom guitars, or so the decal would suggest. There we go. But obviously Albert Lee Styles, Big Owl, and yes, an eccentric, different looking thing, isn't it? You don't often see these around, with all the switching there, active circuitry in the blue finish. If you want a big, beefy, versatile bass guitar, look no further than the Music Man Sterling 5. So we got 5 strings, so we got more bottom end, and we got these 2 big beefy pickups as well, with the many-way switch. Again, active, natural finish. This is in fantastic condition with its original case. From memory, I don't think there's a mark on it, but there we go. The Music Man, Ernie Ball Music Man Sterling 5. In this ridiculously heavy hard case, or flight case, which is the original flight case. It's a rock case by Warwick. Flight case holds this guitar, 2011 Warwick Star Bass. So made in Korea, this one. This is the 4FR model, 4/4 string, FR for fretted. And the frets need a bit of work actually. They have heavily tarnished, but on the wenge fingerboard, as most Warwick basses have. And in this striking gold finish, semi-hollow-body bass guitar. Here we have a Sandberg. So this is the 48 model, And we actually have two of these guitars in the sale, so I'll show you the other one briefly in a minute, but this is in the black finish with the Go Faster racing stripes down the middle.
Really cool.
But it's a really cool looking bass guitar, something a bit different. There we go. Sandberg 48. And just to close out today's video, as mentioned in the previous clip, there's the other Sandberg. So this is the California model. It's got the big bridge pickup and then the middle pickup as well. So this is a 5-string, but again, very well made. Made in Asian factory, I think, from memory. But this comes with a gator case, but a good bass guitar in decent condition. So there we go, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed this bass guitar special episode. As always, let us know in the comments what your favourite model is, or even let us know what your favourite bass guitar is that we haven't featured in this video. You never know, we might have one coming up soon. But yeah, thanks for joining us today. Please remember to subscribe to our channel, like this video and hit the bell icon for future video uploads. And we'll be back very soon with another consignment update. See you next time.